Okay, so I've been asked this question a few times recently, and it's basically, why does the tone arm just slide across the record, or why does the tone arm sort of skip and jump as it goes across the record? And I think there are 5 sort of reasons that I've come up with, and this is not necessarily an exclusive list, but these are my 5 reasons. And the first of all is, well, firstly, it's important to understand how records work, and they're very simple really. Basically, on the record itself, there is a groove that goes from the outside edge to the inside edge, and as the needle, or the stylus as it's correctly called, travels along that groove, it basically picks up the vibrations and turns that into sound, or turns it into an electrical signal that gets turned into sound. And the bit that actually rides in the groove is called the stylus. And on a lot of cheap machines like this, the cartridge at the end of the tone arm, and I've taken it out of this one, it would fit in there, looks like this. And there's this red bit at the end which is removable and replaceable, and on the very end of that is a little sharp point. That is actually the stylus that fits in the groove. Now, if that point is missing, or for that matter if the whole red piece is missing, like it is on this one, that's just not going to work. Now, there are other designs around. I mean, probably the second most common one you'll find is this one. It's the same, but there's just a metal bar really rather than a plastic bar. So if that point is missing, then it's just not going to fit in the groove, and it's not going to track on the record at all. Now, the second reason is very simple really, and that is that the stylus point could just be so clogged up with dirt that it just won't sit in the groove properly. That's easy enough to fix, that can be cleaned. And the third reason is much the same, which is that the record is so clogged up with dirt that the stylus just keeps jumping out of the groove. And again, the records can be cleaned, or the record can be cleaned, so that's not too difficult to sort out either. Now, these machines don't have any sort of adjustment. There's no way of adjusting the pressure that the tone arm puts onto the record. On some more expensive models, there is a feature called anti-skate, and again, that can help, but this type of machine just doesn't have that. So if it's not one of those 3 reasons, then there's nothing you can do to adjust. Now, I'm going to move to another record player just to show my last 2 reasons. Right, well, this is a BSR record deck from the 1970s. It's by no means an expensive deck, but it is much more solidly built and has many more features than the sort of modern Crosley style examples, like that little iron I was using in the previous shot. This does actually have an adjustable weight at the back of the tone arm so that the pressure can be adjusted. Now, I ought to say that it's all very well adjusting the pressure, and some people actually go as far as putting a coin on the front there to increase the pressure, but it doesn't do the records any good. I mean, if you're forced to do that to get your records, your tone arm to track properly, then you've probably got some other sort of problem, and it gets round the problem maybe, but it's not good for the records at all. The other thing this one's got is the anti-skate at the back. Again, this is going to help the needle, or the stylus, not to sort of fly across the record. It's going to basically adjust it a bit better, and I'm not going to go into the hows and whys of how that works. I'm sure there are much better videos on YouTube which explain why that's a good thing. This turntable does have quite a serious problem though, and that is basically this mat is warped, really quite badly warped, and I might just have to peel it off and replace it with a new one. And this causes records not to actually turn around very smoothly, and that can cause the needle to, or the stylus, to jump out of the groove. She's my baby love. She is my doll, my baby love. The other, and that's my number 4 reason, and another reason, which is my number 5 reason, is that the record itself could be warped. And this is an example of a record that is quite badly warped. It's actually a 78 as opposed to a piece of vinyl, but you might better see that that's got quite a significant warp on it. And playing a record like that again causes the tone arm to go up and down as it's going round and round, and can cause problems too. Can cause the needle to jump out the groove. So there we go. There are 5 reasons why it may be a problem for you. Now, as I said, on the cheap ones, there's really nothing you can adjust. You can't adjust the pressure onto the tone arm or the pressure onto the record. You can't adjust the anti-skate. If it doesn't work for you, there's really very little you can do other than what I've already mentioned. With a more advanced unit like this, obviously you've got more adjustments, you've got more chance of getting it to work properly. But bear in mind, you know, like on this one, this Platomats, you know, it's suffered over the years, it needs to be replaced. Just because vintage kit is often better built than the modern stuff doesn't mean that it doesn't need a little bit of care and attention and maintenance in its own right. Okay, well that's it. So hopefully that was useful to some people. I'll be very interested in your comments if you've got any other reasons, or even if you don't agree with me, to be honest. But thanks for watching, and if you have enjoyed this video, then please do subscribe to Mr. Archie's Stuff. Thank you.